My name is Mark Keith Robinson. April 3rd of last year, I had the opportunity to speak to my city council in Greensboro, North Carolina concerning my gun rights. They were doing much the same as what some of the members of this Congress are trying to do now. They are trying to infringe on my constitutional right to own a firearm. And I'm here today to say to them the same thing that I said to that city council. I do not intend to let it pass without me speaking up. I am absolutely tired, as most law-abiding gun owners are, of having our rights doled out to us and taken away from us in small parcels. It is high time that our rights are as protected as the criminals' rights. Why is it that the criminals don't have to go to the sheriff and ask for permission to defend themselves in court for the crimes they've committed, but I have to go to the sheriff or the FBI to ask for the right to defend myself from criminals? It's absolutely egregious. Our Constitution gives us an absolute right to defend ourselves with firearms, and it should be uninfringed. So I'm here today to stand up against HR 8 and HR 1112 because they're doing exactly what the gun owners in this country have been saying for years, taking our rights away from us one small parcel at a time, and it needs to stop. So to the politicians that are here today that are fighting against these bills, I say thank you. And I challenge you to continue to fight against these laws. But to the politicians who support these laws, from those who are the hardcore socialists who plan on trying to dismantle our Constitution, to simply the lazy, ineffective politicians that are holding our rights as political hostage for expedience to advance their own careers, I say this. Gun owners in this country, law-abiding citizens in this country, we're no longer going to be silent. We're no longer asleep. We are wide awake. We are wide aware. And we're going to do everything we can to make sure that if you're trying to take our constitutional rights, we are going to get you out of these halls and replace you with people that will. Thank you.
As you've heard story after story from the people standing behind me, every single day Americans use guns to defend themselves from criminals. That is the heart of what the Second Amendment is about, and it's at the heart of what our founding fathers intended, that all Americans should have the right to use firearms to defend themselves. And over we see guns used to defend themselves. And yes, in these bills, think about some very specific problems with these bills that Nancy Pelosi doesn't want you to know about. They didn't want me to testify before the Judiciary Committee when Doug Collins tried to have me included in that panel, because I wasn't going to spread their message of gun control. In fact, I was going to counter it. And so what I will tell you is right now under this bill, if you've got a neighbor and your neighbor is being beaten up by her boyfriend, she's got a temporary restraining order against her boyfriend, and she's afraid that tonight she's going to come to her house and do her harm, and she asks you to borrow your gun, you can be a felon under this bill for that one simple act of loaning your gun to a friend to defend herself from someone who's going to attack her. You can go to jail for a year. You can be fined $100,000. They say they have exemptions for hunting, and yet the language is so vague that if you went hunting with a friend, you also need to bring your attorney to sit in the deer stand with you and figure out if you hand him your rifle and maybe he wants to go to the range to scope it, you can then go to jail for an act like that. That's what this bill does. This bill turns law-abiding citizens into criminals, and it's one more step towards federalized gun registration and ultimately gun confiscation. That's been the intention of many of the people that are bringing this bill for a long time. They want true gun control, and this is the first step. It's surely not the last. We need to reject these two bad gun control bills.